Welcome to the very first TMC Reef Summit, a 2-day event designed to celebrate innovation, inspiration, and our shared passion for the marine world. Day 1 set against the stunning backdrop of the Horniman Museum and Gardens. Today we gather to connect, collaborate, and explore the future of reef keeping and what it looks like together. Located in South London, the Horniman Museum and Gardens is a world-renowned institution celebrated for its unique blend of natural history, anthropology, and living collections. Founded in 1901 by tea trader and philanthropist Frederick Horniman, the museum was built on the belief that the world's wonders should be shared with the public. Now to kick off the day with Jeremy Gay, the Reef Summit host.
Thanks to TMC for blending the hobby with the trade, and hopefully we'll get some really good content out of this. Just a bit about TMC really, and this is my words, not Brian's, so just from dealing with them over the decades. TMC supplied the UK aquatic trade with marine livestock and associated dry goods for over 50 years. And compared to livestock supply in other places, eating freshwater livestock, we've actually been quite spoiled. When you visit TMC headquarters in Tropic tomorrow, you'll see how clean and professional the company is. And it's been that way for as long as I can remember. Captive bred saltwater fish is a big thing now, and TMC pioneered the commercial breeding of clownfish, gobies, and other species decades ago, along with all the hygiene protocols that came with it, like ultraviolet sterilisation, ozone, and commercial filtration. For those who worked in marine retail stores, when you import saltwater fish directly, you never really know what you're going to get. Fish may be large individuals, stressed from shipping and less suited to captivity than their juvenile counterparts. Prices and availability change, and a lot of the time you receive fish in invertebrates that you didn't even want. Dead fish or even nothing at all. It's a lottery. TMC offers a one-stop shop for marine aquarium supply now with a growing freshwater range too. The Chorleywood and Manchester facilities offer retailers the chance to inspect and handpick fish, corals and mobile inverts, as well as collect dry goods like equipment and frozen food at the same time. It may not sound like much, but this cash and carry system is still revolutionary in the UK and in practice, enabling retailers to pick just one of a specially ordered fish or selected fish from dozens of other countries at the same time. I've worked for many stores and suppliers over the years, and without TMC, the UK marine hobby would be in chaos. Nowhere like as healthy and thriving as it is now. So many fish wouldn't be available, mortality would be much higher, and far fewer stores would even entertain gambling the saltwater aquarium trade at all. TMC is the most talked about company in the UK hobby and trade, and for good reason, as it is them who set the standards. And with new collaborations like with Jamie Craggs and the Coral Spawning Lab, TMC will continue to make waves for the next generation with pioneering ocean partnerships. So thank you to Brian, Sam, Colette and the team for putting on this event, and to TMC for helping us fulfil our passion as marine aquarists.
Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting that. You wasn't paying. I mean, honestly, thank you very much. Very kind words.
Let's spread the love. Now about you guys. So you're probably the smallest audience, but with the biggest reach I've ever presented to. As many of you know, I go back a long way as a content provider, both practical fish keeping, reef builders, as an author, and I even made a DVD once. Imagine that. A content world before YouTube and Facebook, and even before the internet. Many great years doing that. You guys represent a new era of content creation, whether video, social media, podcast, and AI even, and I'm in awe of your audience sizes. Your determination drives to inform, educate and entertain the current and future hobbyists. I always look at audience sizes in terms of football stadiums. A large football stadium might hold 50,000 people. Wembley Stadium over there has got 90,000 person capacity. That's a lot of people. So just take a minute to imagine every one of the people's faces watching, liking and subscribing to your content and loving the hobby just as much as you do because of the content that you provide. Can you imagine standing in the middle of the pitch at Wembley with a microphone, talking about corals, and every one of the people silently watching and listening? It's crazy, isn't it? But that's what you do, week in, week out. That's a huge achievement. And some of your audiences are much larger still. Amy, 1.1 million followers on TikTok. It's gigantic. It's such a lot of fish keepers. And I never liked the term influencer. To me, it's a dry marketing term and would be a better label for a politician or a salesperson. To me, you guys are entertainers and experts, broadcasters, inspirers, informers, comedians even, and the new generation and artists and the new generation of aquarium hobbyists are so lucky to have the access to your channels and your content 24/7. So thank you on behalf of the aquatic industry. Let's get down to talking about some fish and corals. First up, Jamie Craggs, needs no introduction. A man of many titles, you are. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Jamie, when you come up?
Thank you. Yeah, I am wearing a lot of hats these days. I'm principal aquarium curator and leading collection manager here at the Horniman Museum. I've started a new role with Mars Sustainable Solutions as the senior marine scientist and a co-founder of the Coral Spawning Lab. So life's pretty busy trying to juggle 3 jobs. What I'm going to talk about today is predominantly the work that we've been doing at the museum over the last sort of 12, 13 years, and a little bit about Coral Spawning Lab, but Nick is going to be talking about that a bit more tomorrow. So before we start, welcome to the Horniman Museum. It's a brilliant place. We'll go for a tour around the gardens, into the museum, so you get a sense of what the whole place is about.
Yeah, let's just jump into it. I'm based in Wilhelmshaven in northern Germany, basically directly at the North Sea. Beautiful city. We're the Institute of Chemistry and Biology of the Marine Environment, in short ICBM, which is a little bit of an unfortunate acronym, especially when you travel into your politically significant regions and you have a lot of weird equipment, and it says in big letters ICBM. So it can create weird questions, but anyways. I've been at ICBM for almost 15 years now, in the working group of the environmental biochemistry. I'm also in charge of the research aquarium at the institute. We also have a long cooperation with Tropic Marin, and I'm also involved in the research and development there.
Okay, so we're now en route from the pavilion where we've just had some talks to the aquarium part of the Horniman Museum, so come with us. Honestly, I can't explain to you how breathtaking these gardens were. I've sped up obviously the footage to take this video a little bit shorter, as there is so much footage that we got over the 2 days. But if you are in this area and you're wanting to visit, it's a definite must see. Now to hand it over to Jamie Craggs.
Book in 1854. So yeah, he was a pioneer of the trade.
So what was he keeping back then?
It was all focused on temperate marine, off the Dorset, Devon, Cornish coast, specialised in sea anemones. And yeah, like I say, wrote the first aquarium book in 1854. The reason why we have an aquarium here is because of Goss. So Goss was a pioneer. He advised Charles Darwin how to bring specimens back alive on the Beagle. Wow. So he was absolutely the forefront. He was actually, when you read Darwin, it's pretty dry reading. Goss actually had a really nice tone about the way he wrote. Bear in mind, no running water, no electricity. This guy could keep temperate marine animals going for 1-2 years in his house. So houses at the time wouldn't have had any heating, but they would have been thick-walled, quite cool buildings. And so the only thing that ran this tank in his house was his basic house staff would scoop jugs of water, put it into a header tank, and that would run a little fountain like this. So the reason why we've got this here is Goss was a close correspondent of the first curator, Alfred Court Haddon of the museum, and Haddon basically, because he'd seen Goss's work in the Great Exhibition in Alexandra Palace, and that was the inspiration for the aquarium. So the aquarium, this is the 4th iteration of the aquarium. It used to be up a stairwell behind the scenes. Now that's a dumping ground. It's good to put an aquarium down in the basement. Nod to you in terms of water, low drains, stuff like that.
Continue to struggle, and we just get loads and loads of Japanese sea nettles. They're one of the easiest ones to breed. No. So we've got in the honey jars. If we don't feed them, they don't reproduce. Basically, if we start feeding them, they'll start to struggle. They'll bud off all these tiny little apiary, and we'll just have a little honey jar filled with apiary. We move them over to a smaller chrysal about this big, and just have them going around in there. And we target feed them, so we'll actually pipette them all out into a separate jar with some Artemia, feed the chrysal, and then put them back in. And as they grow, we'll just move them onto bigger chrysals.
One of this museum's standout features is its aquarium, a beautifully curated space that showcases a wide variety of aquatic ecosystems, from tropical coral reefs to mangroves, British ponds and Amazonian rivers. The Horniman is one of a few museums in the UK with a working research-focused aquarium integrated into a public space. Why this matters to the aquarium trade? Well, the Horniman Museum plays an active role in marine conservation, research and education, making it especially relevant to the ornamental aquatics industry. And here's why. Coral conservation leadership. The Horniman runs a leading coral research and breeding programme, focusing on how corals adapt to climate change. Their work supports sustainable practices in reef keeping and has practical applications for both hobbyists and commercial systems. Public education and awareness. By showcasing diverse aquatic environments and sharing the science behind them, the Horniman helps inspire future reef keepers and encourages responsible aquarium ownership. A shared mission. Just like TMC, the Horniman believes in bringing the underwater world closer to people, not only for enjoyment but to foster stewardship and awareness. Hosting the TMC Reef Summit at the Horniman is more than just a beautiful setting. It's a symbol of collaboration between science, conservation, and the aquarium trade. It reflects a shared vision for a future where innovation and sustainability go hand in hand. Now enjoy the next few minutes as we tour around the rest of this aquarium. Now after the aquarium, we then all head back to the hotel, enjoy a lovely meal and get to know each other on a more deeper level. We're able to talk a lot about our tanks and get to know a little bit about what each person does as well for the hobby. So the next day we wake up fresh and go straight to Tropical Marine Centre, London, to do our tour and have some presentations from the experts. So stay tuned in part 2 of this video. Let's start the day by finding out what all of the guests thought of yesterday.
It was amazing. Really good, really informative. I don't know much about corals, so it was really interesting to me.
Speaking to Jamie Franks made me realise how much I actually don't know. I think so many people think that they know a lot, but when you actually speak to someone who studies it, you realise there is a lot more to learn than what we know.
That's true, yeah. What was your main take from yesterday?
Corals are dying, and we need to do something about it.
I like the baby track affiliates.
Oh yeah,
they spawned some baby. I'd never seen them before.
So then he talks about baby scotties, so they can spawn scotties and get them to a retail size in about a year.
Yeah.
Which is actually not too bad.
Yeah, no it's not. Hopefully we'll see them next year at TMC then. Anyone else?
I think it was just interesting to see the foundation of how they're starting to sexually produce the corals.
Yeah.
Maybe 40 years it's probably going to 50 years it's going to be completely different and be crazy colour morphs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was really interesting.
Thank you.
I think also there's a Project Hope going.
Yes.
And that's taken 7 years. Well, it's 15 years in the planning, 7 years it's been going. And it's just a small area they've got.
Mm-hmm.
But also then how the corals are then dying, but it's building another reef and then things grow back on and then they're getting LPS, they're coming in.
Yeah.
So where they're spawning elsewhere around the ocean, and now growing on this predominantly an acro bed, and then all the fish are returning. So going from nothing to then planting some
full
acros,
reef, yeah.
and all of a sudden you're creating a brand new ecosystem with the corals first and the fish.
Yeah.
The stuff
From
follows.
other areas, which
And
is
that's basically
great.
the cycle that's gone on for probably hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's just now man-made now.
We're just now helping that process, yeah.
Just to get it going.
Yeah.
I thought it was fascinating.
Thank you. For over 55 years, Tropical Marine Centre has been at the forefront of sustainable aquatics. From pioneering responsible livestock collection and breeding, to engineering cutting-edge filtration, lighting and life support systems. And today, we're taking the next step forward, not just as a brand, but as a community. Throughout the day, you'll get an exclusive look at our latest innovations. You'll hear firsthand from the passionate team behind these products, the reefers, engineers, and aquatic experts who live and breathe this industry. We will be sharing clips of some of the talks from the experts throughout, but more than anything, this summit is about you. You watching this video, the creators, the storytellers, the shop owners, aquascapers, and everyday hobbyists shaping the future of this space. You're here because your voice matters, because your feedback drives innovation, and because together we're building something better for our industry, our oceans, and the generations of reef keepers to come.
Okay, everyone. So, thank you very much for everyone to be here today. We're going to start by splitting the whole group into 3 groups. So, before we start, I just wanted to thank Sam and Colette. They've done an amazing job. Believe it or not, it was all down to them. They organized the whole thing. I mean, literally, I was told to pick up 3 people from the airport. That was it, as much as I knew about the whole thing. So it's been a great day yesterday. I hope today matches what we did yesterday, or supersedes that. We're not here to do hard sales or anything to you. You're not our customers, but you do present a message to our industry, and that's what I'm really interested in. Someone asked me what we get out of this yesterday, and actually I want you to have a good day, reef keeping, decide what we want for the future of the hobby, and we want to be a little part of that, and at the center of that as well. So if you guys can present the messages you hear about today about what we want to put through, and then put that to your audience under your own neutral message. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So support your LFS is a big one. We think we really think that is a big challenge for the next few years. And how do we increase our hobby? Those are the two things we are very focused on and getting. You'll see a lot of products are about getting new people into the hobby. So that is what we aim as a business. So going back to the splitting of groups, there'll be one group going to the fish house, one group will stay here, and one group will go to the biosphere cell. So
And that gets all the pond UVs built. Every pond UV you see anywhere will have come through this room, come through this process. That man will have touched every single one of them, basically. So if there's anything you want to know about pond units or anything, Lee's the man can tell you. What do you say about the process of how it works in here?
Yeah, so we are what we are. We're a production, okay, so we produce things. We produce anything from accessory packs to sterilisers to clarifiers, anything that's needed. Now what we're doing here at the moment is we're doing an appropriate production for a German customer. Okay, so starts off with the first assembly, which I'll put together. Goes on to electrical testing, so every single unit is electrical tested, just for sort of like peace of mind and for the plug and play ability for the end user. Then it gets QC'd and boxed. Okay, then it's nicely put on the pallets, and then that goes over to the warehouse, which they ship it out to, as I say, in this case, Germany. We ship all over the world. So this is a German customer. We've got behind Sam here. We've got 4 UVs going out to the States, and over there we've got EU products which are going out as well as UK. So you know, so we do a sort of like a wide range of things here.
So we've designed a high capacity raceway design and taking inspiration from a river system. So we're trying to move water in an efficient way. You're pumping it in this end, it's exiting there. So you basically are pumping along, coming all the way back down again. Yeah? The design of it is a V shape, because what we want is we don't want sedimentation sitting on top of the coral. That will kill the corals. So the V allows the sediment to fall to the bottom of the V, and then we just cycle along the centre of the V and it gets rid of the sediment in a really efficient way. So yeah, these sediment plugs we've designed with pits on, hundreds of pits. They're the perfect diameter and depth for a single primary polyp will settle in there and fill up that pit. Each of the settlement tanks we're going to see in a second takes 216 of these in the settlement tank. Those get transferred onto the maternity tray, which also takes 216. And if we imagine we've settled them, and we find on average about 5 spats, on average, will settle on a plug. It may be some will have 20, some will have 1. What we want to do is maximise that productivity. So after about 2 months, once they've settled, we'll then take these plugs and cut them on a bandsaw. So we're then maximising the number, and they'll spread out onto new plugs basically. Each 2 metre section takes 10 maternity trays. Each tray is taking 216 plugs. So we've got 2,160 plugs per 2 metre section. This is a 4-length V-shaped raceway, so we're getting 8,500 plugs for a 2 metre set for a 4 length. The idea is this is modular. So if you wanted to build one the length of this room, you just add more sections to it. So you can scale up your restoration, and you're designing this to say, I want X number of corals, because I'm covering this number of hectares. So you can order the number of lengths based on your project output basically. The idea of these as well is they have these handholds, and each one has a gasket. So the plug sits in the gasket, turn upside down so it doesn't fall out. These you then go diving with. So once this has had it thrown out in your land-based system, you can take your plugs directly in the water for the outplanting part of the process. So the majority of these are designed to go in natural sunlight. So you'll put shade cloth over to dampen down the light. but you're using that natural sunlight. This is the sort of in-between stage from the spawning, settlement, grow out, and then we plant them out into the ocean. So this system is getting packed this afternoon. It's going to be shipped tomorrow, and this is going to the Seychelles for a restoration project. Yeah, Seychelles. The filtration for the systems, incorporates all TMC's, latest and greatest technology, UV sterilization, high efficiency, but high output pumps. The idea is we try to make it modular, adaptable, high capacity is the goal for the whole lot.
So this is where the magic happens in terms of biosystems, where we manufacture different bits of kit. So we manufacture filtration systems and things here, pack them and ship them. This is one of Jamie's and Mark's coral spawning layer systems that we're manufacturing for them. This one is about to be packed up this afternoon, shipping this week, which is going out to the Seychelles for a project that Jamie's been working on for a long time.
There's two modules. You've got the broodstock spawning component and then the embryo rearing component. At the moment, they're put back to back, but these are designed to be in a linear pattern for that project. So if you imagine this is going to flip round this way, and they're going to run, and it takes about 4.5 meters of space. So you push this up against a wall in the lab. And so the idea is, literally, as these two arrive, take the crate off, you wheel it into the facility, screw them both together, fill them up with water. They're all completely programmed based on the Seychelles, so it's all programmed, ready to go. They just have to plug it in, plug and play. We basically studied using polypropylene, kind of industry standard in public aquariums. It's durable, it's robust, it's lightweight. It's exactly the type of product that you need or material you need when you're sending it around the world. So we have an acrylic window in here on a gasket, so you can still see your broodstock. This is where your spawning is going to be taking place. The idea is we want to control all the light dark environments. So we close the whole system up. And then there will also be a secondary tent that gets built on here. So this gets bolted on. It will have a hard back here and a curtain here, and it's a bit like a photography studio where you use red light. So we're thinking about the same thing. We don't want to come in, if we're in this situation, open this up and look for our corals and then flood light in here and disrupt them. So this double door system is a light
Make
pocket.
sure that the cycles continue.
Yeah, obviously with this being closed up, this is going to get really hot and humid, so we put extract fans in, so it keeps the humidity nice and dry in there and preserves the life of the electrics. Every aspect of that light-dark environment has been taken care of. So there's light-tight grommets in there, so even the wires get clamped down, there's no light spill. So we're controlling that photoperiod, we're controlling the lunar cycle. You then have, so this system is designed for a semi-open system. So if it's going to a university, for instance, in America, where you've got a bunch of technicians, we would increase the number of dosing pumps. We're using the Tropic, Marin, boiling salts and the A&K. This is going out to the Seychelles, and so we're using a semi-open system. So it's going to have a very slow trickle of natural seawater coming through. That's going to control the water chemistry, simplifying that management of water chemistry. But we do it in a small or a slow flow-through way, so we can still control predominantly the temperature. You know, if we want to flip the cycle and make it winter in the middle of the summer Seychelles, we don't want it as a full open system, otherwise the chiller's trying to chill the whole Indian Ocean. So just enough to maintain that water chemistry, but then control the temperature ratio.
Now, once the tours were all completed, it was time to grab some lunch, sit down and relax before the next talks.
Good morning everyone again. Thanks again for joining us at TMC today. I hope you've enjoyed the walk around the site and to get a little bit of a look behind the scenes of what TMC is and what it's all about. So my name's Nick. I'm one of the directors and shareholders in the business. I've been with the business for 25 years now. Started working in a fish house, grabbing tanks and feeding fish because I bloody love this place. and I just wanted to be a part of it. Fortunately, through that time I've been here, I've been able to work my way around through the business. Yeah, one of the things I look after is the biosystem side of the business. And Sam's asked me to talk a little bit about it because it's a part of the business that not everybody knows a lot about, and it's something that we're still immensely proud of as part of Tropic Marine Centre. So I guess to better understand who or what biosystems is, we need to first understand a little bit about Tropical Marine Centre. I know that Jeremy said some really nice words about us yesterday, and thank you very much about TMC, and I think a lot of you know about us and what we're doing, but I think it's important just to start there. So what do we know about the Tropical Marine Centre? Obviously we are Europe's largest wholesaler of tropical marine tropical marine livestock, with branches based in the UK and in Lisbon and Portugal. We distribute over 1,800 different species of animals that we source from 38 countries around the world, and we also distribute globally to 52 different countries around the world. We've been in operation for 55 years, and we're the guys who started this business are absolute pioneers. I know a couple of weeks ago we had some power issues out in Spain and Portugal, and it's quite amazing when you put yourself in that situation. Derek was out there at the time, and the guys on site, no mobile phones, nobody to connect, no power. It was just nuts. And imagine setting this up 55 years ago, no mobile phones, no internet, nothing. Richard Sankey, the guy who started the business, traveling around the world, finding suppliers, setting up these things. It took days to ship things across the countries. You sometimes lose sight of where that started from, how it sort of came about, and how that all was really sort of pioneered to get us to where we are today. So
our most recent trade analyses that the UK trade's worth just over £1 billion. That's probably a slight underestimation because there are some bits of the supply chain that we don't have full coverage over. There's many thousands of species that are in trade, and around 15% of UK households have aquariums, and 11% have outdoor ponds, which equates to around about 100 million fish living in the UK as pets, which makes them the UK's most, I'm careful with the wording here, populous pet. So that means that there are more pet fish in the UK than there are cats or dogs.
Now on to Dr. Marcus Fengel. He is the owner of Tropic Marin and explored the complexities and limitations of traditional ICP OES testing in reef aquaria. He introduced the Tropic Marin Block Analysis System BAS as an innovative solution to the common challenges of ICP testing, such as high sol interference, sample contamination, and accuracy limitations. Dr. Vengel highlighted how long-term scientific studies reveal that chain trace elements in reef tanks are consumed in proportional groups, tied to key biological functions like the nitrogen cycle, coral skeleton growth, and enzyme activity. The BAS method leverages this insight by using a few accurately measurable guiding elements to calculate the required dosing of related trace elements, reducing the need for 30+ individual bottles to just a simplified system of 5 grouped solutions. Whether for minimalist or maximalist in reef keeping, the Tropic Marin BAS offers a smarter, more science-based approach to trace element dosing, making ICP analysis more accessible, meaningful, and effective for hobbyists and professionals alike. Now that's a wrap for the TMC Reef Summit. I hope you've all enjoyed coming along as part of the event. Now remember, this hobby is there for you to connect with fellow creators, ask questions, share your insights, challenge the norm, and most of all, enjoy it. This is more than a showcase, it's a shared vision. Thank you for watching the TMC Reef Summit event overview. Let's make waves together. Now don't forget, with our brand new website, you can purchase directly online and then send to your local fish shop. For now, it's goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.